Hey Kay, I spoke to Black a couple recently. I asked him about a design for the Sonics, and he gave me the pattern that he would get. I wanted to ask you the same question. If you had a chance to design the new Sonic jerseys, what would it look like?
Yeah. I would go to the throwback joints when they won the title. Those are joints I would go with the green Sonic over the front. Them joints. Good question, man.
Appreciate it.
No doubt.
Next up, Tim Reynolds, please.
Hey, Kevin, since we're obviously in a reflective sort of mood, I forgot to ask the other day, it got a lot of run on Twitter the last couple of days that it was 10 years ago, Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was, that you had 66 at Rucker. I was just curious how much you think back about that day and what went into that game, and just, I mean, you still see the clips of it, and still, I mean, I guess what are your takeaways from it 10 years later?
Just as I get older, just grateful for that opportunity. I didn't know what I was doing in the moment, but for it to still last 10 years later, that shows how special it was. And that's really what I've been about, is creating moments with basketball fans in the streets, in the arenas, overseas, just trying to showcase what I can do. And hopefully people feel something when they watch me play. So it was one of those moments that I'm grateful that, because a lot of times, opportunities come and go, and you may, breeze past them, but that one I took advantage of. So I'm glad I did it back then. And it's pretty cool that it's still at top of people's minds, around this time.
It was such a weird time, Kevin. Like, were you hesitant at all about going out there and taking the risk of playing outdoor and all that?
Nah, because I was always doing that. I mean, I was still fresh in the league at that point, so I wasn't really thinking about, you might get injured or any ramifications of what could happen to me out there. It was just like I just wanted to play, and I felt like a lot of those people who don't get opportunity to go see a Knick game or a Net game when I was in town at that time, they was able to come to the park for free and watch us hoop. So it was special.
Thank you.
Joe Barton, you're up.
Hey, Kevin. Good one today. I asked Tatum the same thing in the mix zone, but does it feel to you like you're just 2 wins away from a gold?
No, we're not even looking at it that way. We obviously we know the situation we're in, but we're trying to take it a day at a time and realize that this is part of the process. Just get focused for the next day of practice and preparation for the next team that we play. But we're not trying to look too far down to the end goal. We're just trying to focus on today.
And I know, listen, I mean, we've talked about this before, where you've said and pointed out that there were games that were close in 16, but the gold medal game, you went out there and had 30, and I think you guys won by 30. And it doesn't feel like that's going to happen this time. It feels like, watching it, that these are much more like NBA games, and you have to kind of approach it that way. Does this tournament feel like, do you go into each game kind of feeling more like that it's like a toss-up, and it's going to be a back and forth kind of thing?
Oh, no, I remember in 2012, we had some tight games. I had 30 in the gold medal game against Spain. It was a tight game all the way to the end. I think we won by single digits, I don't remember. But, yeah, I mean, we didn't win every game by 30 in 2012. We played Lithuania in a pool play, and it was a tight game. We played Serbia, I think, in a pool play in 2016, and they had a chance to tie it up at the end of regulation, and they had a wide open 3 to tie the game up. So it's like, you're going to have games where it's going to be tight, and we understand that. And today it was good that we pulled away late, but we're not expecting to come out here and beat everybody by 30. If you go back to the history of, the last few Olympics, you're going to see some tight games up in there, especially, 2012, that gold medal game, sorry.
We'll go next to Dwayne Rankin.
Thank you, Kevin. It's my first time on, so I'm trying to get my bearings on what was asked before, because I'm not part of the whole mix deal. But want to ask you about Devin today, and obviously he didn't shoot the ball as well as he would like, but he had 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, no turnovers. What'd you think of his play today?
Well, it just shows you how all around D-Book is. You know, a lot of people look at him because he's such a pretty scorer. You know, he could do things so effortless, but he's a savant. You know, he wants to be an all-around basketball player. And you've seen it tonight. You know, grabbing rebounds, going in there and mixing up with the bigs, switching, guarding out on the perimeter, making passes, and then he made some timely shots for us. So Book is an all-around player who's only getting better. He's 24, I want to say, and
Right.
we about this on the bus, like he handles himself like a 35, 36-year-old vet, you know, and that's only going to bode well for him in Phoenix going forward. And tonight was one of those nights. You're not shooting the ball well, that's not the whole game. And guys understand that. He's one of those players that can affect the game in every single facet. And, you know, it's a special player.
Quick follow. There got so many guys that are first time in this. As you guys get closer and advancing, are you getting more questions from them on what to do, what not to do, or do you feel like they got it figured out right by now?
It's basketball at the end of the day. These dudes are high IQ players. Like, you know, it may be a different setting and rules may change as far as you can sit in the lane, but like we all played in college, we all played in high school, so we understand what that's like. But nobody's sitting around asking me questions on what's about to happen. You know, it's basketball, you know, and all of us, you know, have got years under our belts and played in different systems and schemes and playoff games where you got to prepare different ways. So the IQ of these guys is, you know, is at the same level. We all at the same level, I feel.
Thanks, Kevin.
Terrell Thomas, you're up.
Thank you. Hey, KD, Terrell Thomas, These Urban Times. 2 questions for you really quickly. From a music standpoint, I want to know, you were one of the first gentlemen to actually hear what Kanye West is working on with his Donda project. Of course, he hasn't put it out yet, but as he's still working here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, has he hit you with any new music to kind of listen to while you're in Tokyo? And
Go ahead, my bad. Sorry for cutting you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. From a production standpoint, did you guys, I know you dibble and dabble in the music. Did you guys share any gems with each other that night?
No, of course not. That's Kanye West. He's a master at his craft. I mean, I was just sitting back and just taking in the vibes, listening. And he's so humble that he was playing for everybody, just wanted to hear their input. He was asking me what songs that I like. And I was like, well, are you asking me, like, you know, the ones that I like, you're going to put them on the album. So, and he actually did that in that listening party. The joints that I like, you know, I heard him at that listening party. So I'm sure he's just making alterations to the album, and it's going to be incredible when he drops it.
And then from a basketball standpoint, I know you're busy in Tokyo doing things with USA basketball, but did you have a chance to see what your Brooklyn Nets did in the draft recently?
Yeah, very excited about the young fellas that we got. Well, I don't want to call them young fellas, the men that we drafted. You know, Cam and Dayron, and then we got 3 second-round picks, and Zagorowski, am I saying his name right? Kessler, and I forget the last pick that we had, and the guy from Florida State. Sorry, I'm missing his name right now. So I'm looking forward to those guys being a part of the program, and you know, looking forward to learning and helping them grow as much as they can, and welcoming them to Brooklyn, and you know, I can't wait to play with them.
Thanks for your time, KD.
Next up is Josh Coyne.
Hey, Kevin, Josh Coyne of Double Clutch UK. I spoke to Zach yesterday about the collection of coaches you guys have at your kind of at your service on camp. You have been in this situation before, obviously in the Olympics, and you've dealt with a lot of NBA coaches. How valuable is it to have so many minds on camp, and you know, what benefit does that have to you?
Yeah, man, you got champions over there, guys that been around the game for so long, seen the evolution of the game. You know, they could teach us a bunch. You know, it's always a different perspective from guys that's actually in the action and somebody that's just outside watching. So, you know, and the best thing about our coaching staff is that we all have an open dialogue on what we feel needs to happen. Practice games, and you know, they listen, and we listen to them as well. So it's been a great relationship thus far.
And on the other side, are there any challenges to having so many voices in one place?
Not at all. I mean, we got a lot of, you know, respected coaches in this locker room. Uh, they know exactly how to deal with, this caliber player every day. It's not like they just on us every day, preaching stuff to us every day. They kind of letting us be who we are. And then when the time is right, they speak up and hold us accountable. And that's only going to make us better.
Thanks, Kevin. Good luck.
Next up, we'll go to Tyler Boronsky.
Hey, Kevin, you've faced Ricky Rubio a bunch throughout your career. I'm just curious, how is international play Rubio different than the Ricky Rubio you face in the NBA?
Yeah, they're asking him to score more here. In the league, feels like teams that he's been on want him to run the show a little bit more and get guys involved. And that just shows he can play. He can play in different styles, and he's a versatile player. And come out here and score the way he was scoring. I mean, the shots that he was making remind me, showed that he had that scorer's mentality. One-leggers off the glass, get into the paint, shooting deep threes. So, Ricky is a true pro, and he's a reason why so many teams want him a part of their program year after year. And he's just showcasing that he can do more than just be a setup guard.
Next up, we'll go to Samuel Rodriguez.
Kev, since coming from Vegas, can you talk about how you guys have grown together as a team over this time? And then can you talk about how big it was for your Nets to re-sign Blake Griffin today?
Yeah, I think, the 2 weeks that we had in Vegas was key. We started to figure out, well, just first of all, getting acquainted with each other and kind of getting to know each other a little deeper. And then, as we start practicing more and going through those, losses and ups and downs, we started to understand our roles a bit more, and coach started to understand the rotation. So I think, you mix all of that in the pot, you start to build a real team. And that's what I feel like we are at this point. Guys are still growing. I feel like we're still getting better, and so it's important, especially around this time. And to have Blake back, I'm so excited. I mean, as soon as the season was over with, I was telling him that we wanted him back and telling him that, we should try to do it again. And it's glad to see it, get done.
Thank you.
Okay, we got time for 2 more questions. We'll go to Rafiq.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. Congratulations on the win. Unfortunately, the team did get off to a tough start when you were trailed by as many as 11. What did you guys have to do in order to actually turn the tide and get you to that 29 points that you always have in each and every game throughout your career, whether it's the NBA or in college or in international play?
We just had to slow down a bit and get into our stuff. I think defensively we ramped up the intensity and was able to get some stops, and that put us at ease a bit. On the offensive end, we moved the ball and took the shots that we normally take, and they happened to go in the second half. So we know it was a game of runs, and they made a few and we made a few, and we was able to withstand their punch and keep it going.
Thank you for your time.
Last question, we'll finish with Christian Winfield.
Hey, what's going on, Kevin? How you doing?
What up, man?
Congratulations on the dub. You spoke a little earlier about Blake Griffin and what it means to have him resign. I'm wondering, obviously, Jeff, to Denver, what does that mean for you? I mean, obviously, on one hand, you're probably happy for him because that's your guy, but to lose him on the team, what does that mean?
Like I said, guys, definitely Blake and Jeff meant so much to us last year, and it was good to be around them. But the business, guys got families and lives that they're trying to live. So for him to, get that deal and something that he was looking forward to, I'm happy for him, and can't wait to see him again and play against him again. But we move forward, and guys step up, and just it's been our mentality since I got to Brooklyn. So looking forward to having Blake back and, building on what we did last year. And it's always great to have continuity in your locker room in the NBA, especially in this business, because guys can get traded, waived, cut in a matter of seconds. So it's good to have that continuity.
And following up really quickly, if you don't mind, you spoke a little bit about the rookies that you guys are folding in. Are there going to be some challenges that come with folding in some new players in a team that's trying to compete for a championship when you're folding in guys that, are just now getting their feet wet in the NBA?
I think it's going to be a adjustment period for them as well. I mean, it's a different game than it was in college, and the coaching staff, and you can tell those guys love to play. I think that it'll be a fun transition for him. And I'm looking forward to helping as much as I can and feeding off of that young energy as well. We definitely need that in our locker room. So I'm super excited about having them, and can't wait to see what they do in their careers, but especially starting with summer league. So I'm definitely gonna be watching and rooting for them and giving advice as much as I can and just being there for them.